Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I'm excited to say that DICE has made even more updates to the new community-based map in Battlefield 4, and it's looking amazing. But before we get into the new water temple that they've added, yes, there is a water temple, and it's looking fantastic in concept, I wanted to let you know that DICE is making even more improvements to the netcode. Right now on the CTE, there are a few servers, just a couple of them, that are running at 120 Hz. This is basically on par with Counter-Strike, one of the most competitive first-person shooters out there. I already thought that 60 Hz was amazing in Battlefield. Like right now on the CTE, you feel every bullet. You hardly die around corners anymore. Hit registration and hit notification is top notch. I think you guys are going to be very impressed when the new this new spring patch goes live in hopefully a couple weeks now. I don't think they've officially announced it, but I'm hoping it's very, very soon. I think a lot of you guys are going to be impressed by these updates to the netcode, but the fact that they're now experimenting with 120 Hz servers is just simply amazing. Not only is it going to be great for just normal matches, every day just playing around on the battlefield, but it's also going to lay the groundwork potentially for a top-notch competitive scene. I gotta say, and I have to fully admit, that the competitive scene in Battlefield 4 is basically non-existent. It died a very, very long time ago, and I know that there are a couple competitions that pop up every once in a while, but let's be honest, the competitive scene has died. It's sad, but it has, and while I don't think that Battlefield 4 is all of a sudden gonna see a resurgence in the competitive scene because of this update, what it could mean is that for the next Battlefield game, like Battlefield 5 or Bad Company 3, as long as they take all of these improvements, which I'm really hoping that they do, and infuse them into the next Battlefield game, we could have a big competitive title on our hands. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that it's going to be able to overtake Counter-Strike, because I don't think that's ever going to be the case. Counter-Strike is its own entity. Like, it is the epitome of first-person shooter esports, but it would be nice if there was another first-person shooter out there that could at least rival it, or at least be somewhat competitive with this type of gameplay. And so, in my opinion, this is amazing. It's a little bit too early to say how this is going to impact the gameplay, because I know that it's in the early stages right now. They are testing it out, but just the fact that they are experimenting with it is an amazing step in the right direction. But as for that water temple that I mentioned before, this is what it looks like. It's very bare bones right now, but the concept that they're going for is that they really want to integrate the waterfall into this capture points. A lot of people were really disappointed when we first jumped into this map because it looked like the waterfall was going to be purely aesthetic. It wasn't going to impact the gameplay, it was going to look cool off in the distance, but we weren't going to be able to play around it or have any interaction with it. It seems like DICE took this criticism to heart and pretty much just made an entire capture point that revolves around the waterfall. So the way it works, or the concept that they're going for, it looks a little sketchy right now because of course this is in the early stages. They haven't added in all of the water effects, but they want the waterfall to plummet down into the center of this capture point. Here we have an aerial view of it, and you see that reservoir in the center. I'm assuming the waterfall is going to fall directly into that. And so the way that they describe it is that they want the waterfall to obstruct your vision. If you're on one side of the objective and the enemy is on the other, you may not know he's there because the waterfall is directly in your way. Not only that, but there's also going to be a lot of course, spray everywhere. It's going to be a little foggy, and that could also obstruct your vision, making it a little bit harder to identify targets. Overall, though, I am very impressed by the way that they tackled this objective. I know that some people wanted to have a tunnel system behind the waterfall, and that would be where the capture point would reside, so you would have to literally go through the waterfall to be able to have those firefights. And while that would have been a good alternative, I think this is a really ingenious way of incorporating a waterfall into the gameplay on this capture point, and I can't wait to see what the finished product looks like. Another capture point that I was a little less enthusiastic about, though, is the palm oil plantation. It's basically just a bunch of trees in a row. They don't add any tactical cover, there isn't anything that you can really hide behind, and while maybe this is just because it's in the early stages, we have to remember that they haven't added in everything that they want to have on these maps, and that could be the case. Maybe it's going to get flushed out in a future update. It just doesn't feel all that inspired. What I would love, and this is just my general feedback, is to have jungle ruins like something like this. How amazing would it be to have like a little mini jungle maze, or just have a jungle ruin on one of these capture points? It would add in some nice cover, it fits the theme perfectly, and while I realize that would require more work on the part of DICE, they would have to create all new unique assets for this jungle ruin, I think it would be amazing. Maybe it's just me, maybe you guys will completely disagree with me, but right now the palm oil plantation capture point just isn't up to the standards that I was hoping for. But overall, I am really impressed with this map. I have played for a ridiculous amount of hours just on the community-based map. It's not even finished yet, and I am having a blast. Like right now, this is one of my favorite maps to play in Battlefield. Maybe it's just simply because it's new, it's a shiny new toy, but right now I think that they are nailing out of the park. Yes, it has its problems, yes, it has its issues, but if they keep going with all of these updates and they keep improving upon it like they are, this could possibly be one of my favorite maps added into Battlefield 4 in a very long time. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's little update. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the jungle map. Are you loving the direction that DICE is taking with it? Do you think that they should change a few things here and there? Do you have any specific things that you don't like or you love? Let me know down below. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.